And since I already have it installed, here it's showing me two options, an uninstall or an update button. If you didn't have the app already installed, where mine says uninstall, yours would say install, and you would just click right there to download the app. But since I already have it downloaded, I'm going to go back to the app. So I'm just going to go back to my home screen. I'm going to reopen the Lyft app. So there's Lyft. So once it's open, you'll notice at the top, I'm going to get rid of this little advertisement that's giving me by clicking on that X. So up here, you can see where I am right now, but that little blue dot is my current location. And then there's the map, and any cars that show up on the map are drivers that are out and about right now. So I'm not in Boulder, I'm in Erie, and so there's only one driver nearby me, but we'll do a demonstration trip in Boulder. So I'm going to click on search destinations. Now from here, I could have it be starting at my current location, but as I mentioned, I'm in Erie, so we'll do one for Boulder. So I'm just going to set my current location to, let's just do the Boulder Public Library, just because it's kind of centrally located in Boulder. So I just start typing it in, and it's pulling up what it thinks I'm going to be typing. So far, we have the municipal airport, the reservoir, the community hospital. Those aren't what I'm looking for, so I'll keep typing. Put in library, Boulder Public Library, main library, that second option there. That's what I was thinking, so I'll click on that one. So that's the start of my trip. Is there anywhere in particular someone would like to see us take a trip to from the library?
The airport.
The airport? Denver. Oh, and it's a common search, so it pulled up right away. Denver International Airport, so click on that. Now, because the airport is a large destination that has multiple drop-off points, it wants me to pick where I want to get dropped off. So there could be the domestic airlines, the international terminal. Oh, it doesn't want to scroll for me. Or the Westin, the hotel. I'm going to pick the domestic airlines if we're just flying anywhere in the US. So I'm going to say set destination as that domestic airlines. And it will only give you that prompt if it's a location like the airport where there's multiple places you could get dropped off. If you were, say, just taking a Lyft to a friend's house, it would just pull up their address and that would be the destination. So the airport's a little bit unique in that sense. So it's showing us what that trip is going to look like on the map. And if I pinch my fingers together and pull them apart, I can zoom in a little bit. So we see if I zoom in on where we're getting picked up here, because Boulder is a pretty big place, we can see on the screen right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different drivers in the area. Because there's so many drivers in the area, it's not a very long wait for them to come and get us. They're estimating that a driver would be there to pick us up in about 5 minutes if we were to request one. So if we look down below, we can see our different trip options. So it looks like there's the, I'm gonna hold, there we go. We have a normal Lyft for 3 people will get us to the airport around 3:36. There's that extra big Lyft if you were traveling with, say, your whole family. There's that luxury option, which I've never taken. It also gives us an option that we could wait a little longer. It looks like it would be about $5 cheaper, which would be an option as well. You can also see down at the bottom, there's also a bus option. So if we clicked on that, on the next bus, it's nice. There isn't a bus for 38 minutes. But if we click on that option, I think it should show us on the map what the bus. Yep, it'll show us what the bus would look like, and it gives us what the price is to take the bus. So you can kind of compare those two options in the app, which is a nice feature. But let's scroll back up and look at what a Lyft would be. So we're just going to select the second one, just this normal Lyft for up to 3 people. So I'm going to select that. But I don't because I'm not actually going to take this trip right now in this moment, we can go look at the map again. So pull down from the top to show that map. Oh, sorry, my bad. There's what our map looks like. But we're not going to take this trip at this moment. So what we're going to do, we're going to schedule it as if we were scheduling it for a flight later in the week. So at the bottom where it says select Lyft, just above that, you'll see a schedule button. I'm going to click on that. And now this pulls up our options. So set our pickup location. So we want the library, and it gives you an opportunity to leave your driver a note. So say I use a walker and I want to make sure that my driver knows I'm going to need to put it in the trunk, or I have a bunch of groceries and the driver needs to know I'm putting them in the trunk, or anything like that. You could add a note for your driver right here on this screen by clicking on that add note to driver button. But we're going to set that as our pickup location. So I'm going to say set pickup. Now it wants us to set the time. So let's just say our flight was at, I don't know, 11 a.m. So we know we want to be at the airport around 9. And we know it's going to be about an hour-long trip, 45 minutes. So I'm going to set my pickup time for, I'll do 8 o'clock just to be safe. So I'm going to click on pickup time, click on that. It'll pull up your clock. So I'm going to click on the 9 and then, or sorry, I said 8. I'm going to click on the 8 and then select my minutes. I want it at 8 on the dot, and then AM or PM, you just click on whichever one you want. So I'm going to click on AM. So 8 a.m., say OK. Now we need to pick the date. I'm just going to say that the flight is on this Friday. So I'm going to select Friday the 9th. Say OK. And then I just click set pickup time. Okay, it's saying that on Friday, it's going to be a $71 trip. Friday, October 9th, that's all correct. My ride will arrive most likely between 8 and 8:10, and I'm going to say schedule. Now it's going to remind me about those COVID precautions. So have symptoms, don't travel, wear your face mask, help keep the car clean, leave that front seat empty, open the windows. So it gives me the reminder of what their guidelines look like right now. I'm going to say continue because I'll make sure I have my mask, not symptomatic, all of those things. So click on continue. Now that ride is scheduled. So to see that scheduled ride on this main page that took me back to, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little map icon right here. I'm going to click on. If I click on that, it shows me that I have this upcoming ride. So Friday, October 9th, right there to pick me up between 8 and 8:10 from the library, take me to the airport for my flight. So that's where you would view the scheduled rides. I'm going to cancel this ride right now because I'm not actually flying anywhere this Friday. But that is where your scheduled rides will appear. If you do need to cancel one, when you click on that calendar, you can just click on cancel ride. So cancel a scheduled ride. We can always schedule again or request a ride now. I'm going to say confirm because I don't want to take that ride. So now it is canceled, but that's where your scheduled rides will appear. Something to note about scheduling rides. Lyft calls it scheduling, and it's a little bit misleading. Is what it means is about half an hour to 15 minutes before you want a ride, they release that request. So we requested a ride for 8. So at 7:45, they send out that message to all their drivers in the area saying a ride to the airport at 7:45. And then those drivers can decide to pick it up. Going from Boulder, your odds are really good that your ride's just going to get picked up and it's going to be in that 8 to 8:10 window. If you are, say, in a much smaller community that doesn't have very many Lyft drivers, you may have to wait longer for that ride. So I always recommend, if you're going to be scheduling a ride, say to get to the airport where you know it's going to be happening, in advance, I would say get on Lyft like a couple days before and at the time that you think you would want to leave, and just see how many drivers are available. And if you go on and you see, like right now when I'm on the app, I can see that there's a bunch of drivers in Boulder right now. All those little cars, those are all drivers that are available. And so if I knew I had a plane, I needed to leave Boulder around 8, and I checked at 8 just on a weekday to see how many drivers, and I saw this many drivers were available on a typical day at 8 a.m., I'd be totally comfortable scheduling a ride, allowing that 45 minutes to get to the airport. But let's say I was in a much smaller community where I knew there was less drivers, you may want to account for that extra time it will take for a driver to get to you. So you may just want to schedule that ride for a little bit earlier in the day. Because unfortunately, unlike, say, a taxi service, it's not guaranteeing you a ride at that time. It's simply releasing that request to drivers, and the odds are good that someone is going to pick it up. Looks like we have a comment in the
So
chat.
Adriana says that you can't use the credits to pre-schedule a ride, and we're not sure why, but just to keep that in mind.
Huh. I will try to find you an answer on why it won't let you. That's very strange. I was not aware of that. Any other questions or another destination you would like to see how Lyft would get us there? If not, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back over to Anna. Give me just a moment.
And I'm just going to share my screen again to end the presentation. So like we said, you do get $50 in credits, and you have to add a credit card, or like Adriana said, a gift card with $50 at least to your account to be able to use it. We're gonna send a post-workshop email. So it's just gonna be an email that has a link to the survey so you can get your credits. And then there's going to be other resources, and then also other links to our next future workshops so that you guys have access to that. But if there are no questions, then this is the end of our workshop.